Welcome back. This video is about how to go into the parameters and set the event submenu options on your HawkCam or HawkCam Pro. When you first click on parameters, you come to the IP settings page. We'll go ahead and click on the motion detect. By default, the camera does not have motion detection turned on. And when you see the whole screen is red, that means the whole screen is active for motion detection. Any motion anywhere on the screen will trigger the camera to start to record. We can also clean all, and we see our picture through. Now, nothing will trigger the motion detect on our screen at this time. So let's say we want to block out these windows, people knocking at the door, the mailman or something like that, not to trigger the camera, but only people that walk through the door. The way we'll do that is we kind of get an idea of where these areas are, and then what we'll do is we'll select all, and then we'll go out and we'll clean up by clicking and dragging over those areas that we do not want the camera to trigger for. So just click and drag. If you make a mistake, you can add back in. And then on this side here, we can click and drag, and we went a little bit too far, so we'll find it. Clean it out just like that. And then if you have like small animals or something like that that like to sit into the window there, you can also take it down low. We'll take it out here too, just so that they don't trigger it there. Now anybody coming through the door is going to have to trigger it here. Anybody coming to the windows will not trigger it. We might as well go ahead and leave these all selected in too. So anybody breaking in the window will have to go left or right or someplace else once they get in the window. So that's the motion detection. If you have a ceiling fan, this is by example, if you have a ceiling fan, you can take that out so it's not triggering your camera. Don't forget to enable it if you're doing motion detection. High is a little bit sensitive on these cameras. I would suggest low or normal to start with. And then if it's not sensitive enough, go ahead and move it up. But some people on high have had dust in their house activate the camera on sunny days. Now, the alarm interval, how often do you want the alarm to go off? I would suggest 60 seconds. Now what do we want to have happen? The actions, once it detects motion, what do we want that to do? Do we want it to send us an email? If we do, then up in the email section on the previous video, we need to click on the email and configure that. Maybe we want to take a couple of snapshots. We can either send them to email, we can upload them to the FTP server if we set up our FTP, or we can just have them saved to the local storage. If you click this one, it's also going to mark this one because it's going to send the email. So we'll take those two off. Maybe you just want to alarm and have a recording. If you have FTP set up, you can click that. It will record to the SD card on the camera if you installed one. Trigger alarm output. This is what sends the alert to your mobile device and tells you that something's happening, but it's also can be used to trigger an output for a strobe light, horn, or something else if you have a much larger security system that you want this to tie into. Get a hold of a local security system specialist and have them work with you on how to configure that. And then trigger alarm audio, that's if you want, when the motion detect to go off, if you want the camera to do a little siren or a little type of alarm or alert or something like that. Maybe you don't want somebody to be alerted when they've triggered the camera though. Anyway, we're going to activate that. Now the schedule for when you want the motion detect, you want the motion detect to be on when no one should be there. But what about the times that you're there? What we'll do is right now it's always going to be on. So when you're up in your own house or in your own office and moving around, it's going to be sending alarms and recording and eating up your memory space on your memory chip. So you can go in and set work mode and hit time, and that will open up this menu down here where you click on the work day or the work week. Time period 1, time period 2, time period 3. Think of it as turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, and turn it off. That's 3 times a day you can turn the alarm detection, the motion detection, on or off throughout a day. It always starts at midnight, so that's always 0 o'clock. If you wanted to record from 9 o'clock the previous night till 6 o'clock in the morning, you still start today, every day, at 0 o'clock. And then you go till 6 o'clock. Well, for fun, these go in increments of 15 minutes. So let's say till 6:30 when you wake up. Then you go to work and you're out of the house at 8. And we're going to take that until 5:15 when you get home from work. And then what we'll do is we'll turn this one on from 10 o'clock at night when you go to bed until midnight. And this midnight is the 24-hour midnight, not the 0 o'clock midnight. Make sure that you've enabled it here if you want it to be active, and then the weekends you might not want it to be on at all. Take it off totally and hit apply. Now, the week mode is if you have a different work schedule for each day of the week, and you can come in and configure each one of these days as to what your work schedule is. It's the same thing with the time setup. And that's it for the motion detect. Don't forget to hit apply at the bottom, otherwise all your configurations don't get saved. Now, occlusion detect. If this is an Anycam or any kind of security cam and somebody thinks that they can get around it just by putting a teddy bear in front of the camera or something like that, what this will do is if you enable it, it will send your app on your phone an alert and say, hey, something's blocking my view. So you can pick up the phone, call, and say, hey, can you move the teddy bear out of the way? That's all the occlusion detect does. Alarms in and out. This camera can be part of a bigger system. So if you have alarms in, such as a motion detector, or you've got contacts on your doors and windows and things like that, that if they get opened up or broken, then it can send this camera an alert and tell it to turn on. So what you'd do is you would enable it. You would tell it whether it needs to be grounded or open. If you don't know the difference between this, contact your local security specialist. They will tell you how to set that up, or they'll come out and do it for you. Now the actions are the same actions we just went through for the motion detect, so I'm not going to go through that. The only difference is that the camera is not doing the motion detection. It's something else, that some other sensor in your house that is triggering the camera to come on. So maybe you have the motion detector or the door contacts broken, and you want your camera to be on when they walk into your living room, so you have them, full face recognition, the whole 9 yards. That's how you would use the alarm in. If you don't have a bigger system, don't worry about it. Don't use this part. The alarm out. We want to enable this, and we want to turn this on, and we'll alarm you for 9 seconds. What this does is it will send you an alarm. It's kind of like your phone is ringing, but it'll be from the app. And if you hit the green button, it'll answer the app, and you'll see the video feed from your camera wherever you are. If you hit the red button, it'll hang it up and just dismiss the alarm. Don't forget to hit apply at the bottom in order to save your changes. Snapshot. Remember, if we have snapshots going on when motion detection or the alarm in and out, if we click back on here, we can also have snapshots taken. Alarm with snapshot, send to email, so on and so forth. But this is going to tell us how we want the snapshots to be taken. There's 2 different sections here. I'm going to talk about the bottom section mainly. And you notice these are separated between these 2 boxes. These work in conjunction. We're going to enable this, and what this means is that it's going to take a snapshot when the snapshot is triggered. It's going to take a snapshot every 2 seconds for 30 seconds. I like to do 10 seconds. And if I got a real big email box and I don't have a lot of room, then I might go down to high quality and hit apply. That means every 2 seconds for 10 seconds, I'm going to get a picture. That'll give me 5 pictures attached to an email that would be sent to me if I have the emails turned on in a high definition, but not the best quality. Now, snapshot works a little bit different. If you enable this interval every 60 minutes or every however many minutes you tell it, it's going to take a snapshot of whatever it sees. Doesn't matter if something's happening or not. And it'll either email it to you or send you a notification. And that's it for the snapshot. Under the recording screen, pretty simple. If you have bandwidth issues, you can take this down to a substream and it'll be a really good picture, but not as good as the mainstream. File time. How long is each file going to show you a video of when you go to view it back? Right now, by default, it's set to 30 seconds. If you don't want to watch a whole bunch of 30-second videos like me, then you go in and change this to 600 seconds, and that's 10-minute videos. So you're not constantly just opening file after file after file, but you're actually watching video feed. Manual record. What this does is if you turn this on and hit apply, that camera will start to record 24/7, 365. It will always be on recording. It's quite the same thing as if you go ahead and turn timer record on and then hit always. If you want to just turn the recording on every day, this is the same menu that we looked at before. You hit this time button to get the sub menu down here. And you can set the time that you want it to turn on, time that you want it to turn off. Same thing for periods 2 and 3. So you can turn on timer record if you know that you want to record every day from 8 to 5 just to watch the store or watch the employees or whatever. You can turn that on. Or if you want to watch the nanny and then have it turned off, then it's there. Work mode, week mode, we talked about that in the previous motion detection piece. And then the alarm record. How long do you want the alarm to record for every time it's triggered? The max is 3 minutes. The minimum is 30 seconds. I suggest going to max and just watching what they do. Privacy mask. What the privacy mask does is it allows you to blank out parts of your picture. So let's say this might be a bathroom here. And you don't want people just to see into the bathroom. You can grab the edges. And drag them as you need. And then that'll just be a big blank hole when you watch your videos back. Could be used for cash registers or keyed entries, those types of things. Maybe a bed. If you have this in your bedroom, you don't want to record what's on the bed, you sleeping at night or something like that. And you can do up to 4 different regions that you can block stuff out. And that does it for the Parameters Events menu. Come back and we'll go through the Systems menu and finish up the recordings for the HawkCam and HawkCam Pro. Bye for now.